はい、続いてのゲーム、バーチャルボーイワリオランドアワゾンの秘宝 100% ですね。こちら、今回解説の方が、はい、いらっしゃいませんので、私が、だらだらと喋りながらお送りさせていただきます。こちらの合間に、ね、イベントの概要の方、説明させていただきたいと思います。で今回、ジャパニーズリストリームではオンライン RTA イベントのサマーゲームズサンクイック2020の様子を公認で日本語ミラー配信させていただいております。STDQ2020 は海外のチャリティーイベントであり、ゲームのやり込み要素の一つであるリアルタイムアタック、通称 RTA を視聴していただくことで寄付を募っております。今回集まった寄付金は国境なき医師団に全額寄付されます。国境なき医師団は独立中立公平な立場で医療人道援助活動を行う民間非営利の国際団体であります。寄付と関連して特定のゲームには高難易度への変更や隠しボスの討伐、バグ技の紹介などが予定されており、各項目前に設定された目標寄付金額を達成した際に行われます。寄付金額を表に見立てたビットによってキャラクター名や選択肢などが決定されることもあります。GDQ のホームページの上から各ゲームの目標寄付金額やビットの内容が確認できますので、ぜひそちらもご覧ください。はい。騎士団とは言っておりませんのでね。はい。日本からはゲームズタンクイックのスイッチチャンネルでサブスクライブやビッツを送るか、イエティやファンゲーマーにてグッズを購入することで、間接的に寄付をすることも可能となっております。イエティのシャツの買い方やサイズについては配信の下の方にあるパネルからご確認くださいませ。お使いのクレジットカードによっては GDQ のホームページから直接寄付ができることもあるようなので、ご興味のある方、ぜひ一度お試しくださいませ。ジャパニーズリストリームでは、このような海外のスピードランイベントを今後もいろいろとミラー配信する予定となっております。Twitter や Twitch のフォローもよろしくお願いいたします。なんかいろいろ混ざってません？混ざってんね。バーチャルボーイだよね。私、世代じゃないので、バーチャルボーイ実物とか見たことないんですよね。なんかいろいろ混ざってますね、やっぱり。
I think it's really cool to see GDQs throwing, I don't want to say throwing a bone, but just giving opportunities to runs where there's clearly been a lot of hard work and a lot of merit as speed games there. So very happy for
世代ないのか見たことないよ。
For my next question,
世代
Mario
でもプレイ、
RPGs, while easy casually, I've
そうなんだ。
always found from a viewer standpoint to be some of the most brutal RPG speed games out there.
っていうか、バーチャルボーイがいつ出たのかすら分かってないんだよね、俺。
Seemingly every game in this series having frame perfect trick after frame perfect trick. As a runner of multiple games in this series, I've seen you run games, obviously Paper Mario, we've seen you in the past, Thousand Year Door, a couple of Zelda games. As a runner of multiple games in this series, what single part of any of these runs stresses you out the most?
はい、今モデレーターの方からありましたけれども、そうですね、バーチャルボーイの画面らしいんで、もしかしたら危ないかもしれないので、気をつけて見てみてください。
And if you miss one dodge, you are dead and the run is over, or you have to redo the fight in like a marathon setting. So
すげえ赤いよ。本当に？
My run at hotfix actually went pretty well. I didn't have any really costly deaths, although I did die a couple times. But so yeah, that
やってる姿だけ。いや、それ画面。
So you guys heard it right here. Again, GDQ year-round streaming, lots of great content they put up. You can check out that run. What was the name of the category again, just so we can plug it?
Any percent no IBG.
No IBG. What does that stand
す
for?
ごい赤いというか赤
It's
しか
called
ない。
instant battle glitch,
赤
and I want
赤
to
な
say
ん
that
だ。
as a little bit of
目に優しい。
surprise
赤
for
って見づらくない
Okay. I'll let you.
So,
I'm sorry. I'm
yeah.
trying to spoil. I'm trying to spoil.
赤一色ってさ
But
す
make
がに
sure
見
to
づ
get
らくない
everyone to check out that run after you watch his
赤と黒。
80% run of Paper
へ
Jam
え。
later today. To call out the elephant in the room, Paper Jam is for sure a game in this
黒
beloved
もあれだろ
series with perhaps a
すいませんで
mixed
した。
bag of
申
reviews
し訳あり
and
ません。
opinions from the community. Yet I look at the run and see tons of work has been put into it by so
黒
many
背景
different
に赤だ
runners
けなの
and just glitch finders across the community. Would you say that that comes from people who look past the game's flaws and love it? Or is it just the fact that this
へえ。
game is
ト
so
ランプかな。
broken it makes for a good speed game?
I honestly think it's a bit of both.
実は悪くない。
Coming
よ
from
く聞く
me,
の。
I
へ
really did
え。
enjoy this game a lot casually, despite its flaws. I
ああ、
really
視
do
力
like the
矯正
battle
用の
system
機
a
械に
lot.
近いとかなんとか。
So that has led me to run multiple categories for
なんか
this
みんな
game
言ってる
and
ね、
also
悪く
include
ない
other
と
glitch
か。
runs.
へえ、そうなんだ。
Just because, like, I feel like this game is so broken. I feel like I'm personally very bad at glitch hunting, but I've found several glitches in it just because it's pretty easy to glitch hunt. So it's really fun to mess around with. So I think, yeah.
実は悪くないは良くもないか
Before
ら
I
な。
let you
ま
go,
あ、
Giga,
確
there
か
are
に。
tons and tons of categories people could get into the Mario RPG series with this for speedrunning. Give me your most
ああ、
beginner-friendly,
なる
but
ほど。
also one of the more fun categories to pick up as a new runner.
I honestly think the run I'm going to do today, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, any percent, is one of the easier runs to pick up. There
長
are
時
some
間
hard
はやれ
parts
ない。
to it for sure, but
机に置いて座って覗き込む形。
like you can opt out of some harder things, and I think it's generally pretty easy to get things done.
なんだ
And
ろうね。実
just
際
get
の
a
ゲー
run
ム画面見
across
てみない
going
とわ
on
かん
the
ないけど、
table.
まだ
So, and I'm
どう
sure
なってんのか
you
と
might
か。
be able to see what I mean when we get into the meat of the run.
You heard it here today, guys. You're going to have a great speedrun, but also a great tutorial for all of you to break into Mario and Luigi speedrunning. And one final question, because I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this today. Have you played Origami King? Do you think it looks cool as a speedrun at all?
I have played Origami King. I did enjoy it casually. I think it
言うほど悪くないけど
lost
疲
some
れる。
potential,
へ
but I did
え。
really enjoy it. As a speedrun, I can't really say I've watched too much of it because it's really
傍らに暗記用の赤いシート
Yeah,
置
I
いて
know it takes
ど
a
っかに
while
あ
to
る
get
けど
going,
な。
but we'll
俺
see.
もわかんない。
I
どっか行っちゃった。
remember days when people said Thousand Year Door was it was 17 hours long, and before you know it, people have broken it in half. And
Yeah.
now it's
寝
actually
っ
a pretty
転がって
reasonable
本
amount.
体を
And
顔
you
乗
know,
せるのが
there's
最
all
強。
sorts of cool
へ
glitches and stuff
え。
in it. GigaDB, thank you for joining me today. Definitely looking forward to that Mario and Luigi Paper Jam run coming up later today. We're going to kick you all back up to the front as Swordsman Kirby coming in for his
炭酸電池6
second
本。
run of this
なるほ
marathon
ど。
with Virtual Boy Wario Land. I hope y'all are ready for two very specific colors that are about to be on screen. So kick it up to the front.
6
Everyone
本。
keep enjoying Summer Games Done Quick 2020. See ya.
拷問としか思えない。
Alright, hey everyone. I'm Swordsman
お
Kirby,
ー、
and
来
this
た。
is
赤いな。
Boy Wario Land 100%.
赤いな。
The way that I'm streaming this, just to sort of validate that I'm playing on
赤いね。
original hardware, here is a webcam pointed into my Virtual Boy. So yeah, it's the same image here. But luckily with this mod, we don't actually need to play on the red palette. So I'm going to switch to just white.
あそこ色変わった。ゲームを始める
So,
前に
in
な
the
んちゃ
game
らかんちゃら。
100%, there are 10 treasures that you need to collect. There's 14 levels, 4 boss levels, and 10 regular stages. So the name of the game is going to be collecting a treasure in each of those
あ、エ
regular
ミュレーターな
stages.
んだ。
So, are you ready for a countdown?
キャプチャできるさ、基盤が
Okay,
最
so
近
I'm
で
going
き
to
たと
start
か。
in 5,
へえ。
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
はい、グッドラックです。
So, the way that the Virtual Boy Wario Land uses the Virtual Boy hardware, I guess, is that there are some 3D aspects to it. So there's going to be some foreground, background mixing. Normal Wario is not very fast, so we're going to switch immediately to Bull Wario. As you can see, there's a much faster dash than just simply running. And it allows us to clear this huge pit of lava right there.
空気感はすごい。
And kind of similar to, I guess, like Wario Land 4.
奥
if
行
you
っ
played
た。
that game, in order to exit the level, you need to find one of these keys in order to unlock the next elevator. So there's a lot of jumping back and forth between the foreground and the background. Sometimes they just required, sometimes they contain treasures, so on and so forth. So if you've played Kirby Triple Deluxe for the 3DS, it's kind of similar to jumping back and forth between foreground and background. But I wonder like how much inspiration of this game was taken from this one. So obviously the bull has
視界進
faster
行なのに
dash,
さ、
but it also has
黙
a
ってこ
ground
う
pound.
ゲームを
You might have seen me
見
do
ちゃう
this
から
like
やばい。
belly flop move earlier in the first stage, but pressing down when
立体感
in
す
the
ご
air
い。
with in the air with Bull Wario gives you a
立
ground
体感
pound.
というか奥行きというかいいのよ。
We're just gonna make our way to
あ
end
り
of
がとうござい
stage
ます。す
2,
いません。
and we're gonna see the first, I guess, hat change here. So some of these hats are required. In this case,
すごい。
this is Sea Dragon Wario. It allows you to breathe fire and break these blocks labeled with fire symbols. And so that's gonna lead us to our second treasure.
VB は誰もわからない。私はわからない。
Yeah, this game, as I mentioned in the interview, is released between Wario Land 1 and 2, but I think the movement, like the sprite work, so on and so forth, is just so smooth. Very much, I'd say, unlike
解説しだした。それで
sorry,
怖い。
Game Boy Wario Land.
確かに。自分でも怖いかもしれない、それは。確かにドットが綺麗、
In
本当
between
に。
here, we've got this is obligatory water level. Swimming in Virtual Boy Wario Land is actually really, really strange. It actually tries to make the swimming look kind of realistic. So there's like when Wario is paddling like this, there's parts where he's moving faster than others and parts where he's like slowing down at the end of his stroke. But what seems to work well for me is just trying to hug the ceiling as much as possible. So I'm like mashing A constantly, running into the ceiling to try to get sort of like the fast part of the stroke. Yeah, these shark kind of or eel enemies kind of reminds me of something from Triple Deluxe as well.
普通にゲーム面白そ
You break that block. Pipes are like
う。やっぱりこういうの見るとね、
just
や
the
っぱ
worst
やりた
thing
く
in
は
this
な
game.
ってくる
It's
よね。
even worse when you're trying to swim underwater. Okay, so we gotta switch very quickly back to Bull. Some of these treasures are really, really well hidden in my opinion. I had to look a lot of them up when playing this game casually. But this one here, you have to crash through with Bull specifically in order to get this treasure for stage 3.
あ、これ27分全くエスティメイト見てなかった。
I haven't
じゃあ
mentioned this
VB
yet,
買おうか。
but
ちょ
the
っと待って
ground
くだ
pound
さい
and
ね。
also the belly flop allows you to avoid bonking into walls. Normally, if you're dashing, you'll, for example, just run into that door. But if you belly flop or ground pound, you can actually avoid bumping into stuff. And you
なん
just
と
sort of roll around the corners now.
18,300円。
This is a mini boss kind of thing before the first boss. Fortunately, I was a little bit
へえ、すごい。
unoptimal there. The idea is that you want to get the mini boss to jump straight up into the air, but you need to stand really close in order for that to happen. Alright. So this is the first boss, Dinosaur Fish. Basically, the idea here is I'm just going to dodge
意外と安い。
its attacks when
思
it's
って
in
た
the
よりは
air,
安かった。
and then have a well-timed jump to hit it as early as possible when it comes to the foreground. If you don't do this, the fight can get way uglier. This is just going to be 2 more cycles of this, so now is a good time for a couple donations.
Absolutely. We have $50 from 607 saying Wario Land is my favorite series, and I'm always hoping for it to be run at GDQ. I've never played Virtual Boy
メ
Wario
ルカリで
Land
ソフト付きで3
naturally
万で売って
because
る。
who owns a Virtual Boy? But I am very excited to see this run. Also, $25 from Mercurius59 saying donating for Virtual Boy at GDQ. Thank you, Gunpei Yokoi, for your contributions to
早めに切
generations
っ
of
たから、
gamers
任天堂
who
は
will
実は
always
黒字だ
remember
った
you
りす
fondly.
る。へえ。
Yeah, you can fit in maybe 2 more.
Sure thing. $20 from
仮に出す人がいる時点で面白い。確かに。
runners, viewers, donors, and people managing things behind the scenes are having a great time. Have an awesome day, everybody.
赤いけど売り上げ黒字定期。
Saying thanks for the great runs. Keep them coming.
That's that boss. Not that interesting of a fight. And now we're gonna get to stage 5, which has probably the first instance of definitely has the first instance of the most important in this run. So we're just gonna be zooming to the left, then going upstairs into this next hat.
完全に一人をって感じですね。
Functions kind of similarly to Bull. You have a dash, but you can actually do it in the air. And
通信ケーブル
you actually can jump out of the dash. It allows you to do a lot of
強いおもちゃ。
high flying acrobatics. You need to be really careful here. Not
へえ、対戦できたんだ。
the nearest backup eagle hat is really far away. Not really far away,
は
but
い、
really
ソフトが出て
inconvenient
な
to
い
get.
マリオテニスがあったらし
You're
い
gonna
とか
do
言ってるね。
two forward hops.
なんだろう。
And
2台で
this
対戦。
treasure really irritated me casually. This is so out of the way.
マリオテニスがローンチ。
And
へ
here,
え。
you can see that
対応ソフト
belly
なし。
flop mechanic of sort of rolling off of corners to avoid bonking. Belly flop
今では
will go off of
カット
enemies,
されてんの
allowing
通
you
信
to
ポート。
do jumps like that.
あー。
Yeah, Wario is
二人でゴーグルつけ
condition
て
in this game.
ケーブルつなげて対戦するの。
Never skips arm day. My
今考えてみたら結構シュールな図だよね。当時はやっぱりね、やっぱね、最先端だったんだろうけど。当時には最先端すぎたんじゃないか、考えてみたら。
The last hat is actually this thing called King. It's actually a combination of Sea Dragon and Eagle. And, well, it allows you to breathe fire, allowing you to clear those blocks. Well, breathe fire, but it actually comes out sort of as a projectile. And unfortunately, if I want to switch back to any other hat, I actually need to take damage in order to, for example,
ああ、
get
そ
an
っか、
Eagle back.
64?
So it's kind of
出る時代。ああ、そうだね、確か
something
に。
that you need to keep in mind is that if you want to keep Eagle, you can't touch the
今で
Sea
ようや
Dragon
く先
hat
端
and。vice versa.
やめて、通信ケーブルでつながった VR ゴーグル装着して。
Honestly, it's very easy to take damage in this game. And being able to keep these hats for a long time is super, super crucial. The switch that we pressed
当時で
earlier
もシュールだったから売れなかっ
enables this
た。
switch right
あ
here, and it's going to clear out this wall that leads us to the treasure of stage 6. Not really
確
too
か
much
に
to
ね、
say
周り
about
から
the rest of the
まあ
stage.
何やってんだっ
Just
て
a
感
little
じだ
bit
ね。
more sections so we can fit in a couple donations here.
You got it. $10 from
またツボってるって言わない。
This is my first time actually watching an SGDQ live. I love this event so much, and I'm so happy to donate for a wonderful cause. Let's reach that bonus game 3 incentive, everybody.
ああ、やっぱやろうだと決めつけるのは早いね、やっぱね。
And $10 from Sir Barbafo saying long-time watcher,
やめて。
first-time donator,
ツボつか
sending
ない
much
で
love
みんな
from
で。
Italy in these troubling
VR ゲーム
times.
のアーティ今回柱にもそ
SGDQ
ごっ
is more
と。
awesome every new edition. Keep it going.
Alright, stage 7. Kind of a scary first room. A lot of spiky enemies that will immediately eat my eagle hat.
ツボツボ
And then
やめて。
these piranha-looking things on the ground as well. Ooh, that was really close. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of a skip. So the idea here is that you clear these blocks, making a way for this tornado.
あ、ハーフライフ VR なんだ。へ
Oh, I missed
ー
it. Clear out that sand
あ
pile.
んまりこうさ、
But if you have just
しっかり
the
こう
right
内
timing,
容を
you
見
can
れて
actually
ない。
squeeze past before the whoa, yeah, that was kind of scary. Squeeze past before the tornado blocks the door.
ツボし。
Kind of
ツボ VR でやる必要ある？
The eagle hat breaks a lot of these rooms. Yeah, so the mod that I'm using to capture is called the virtual tap. And one thing that it unfortunately does not capture is changes in brightness to the Virtual Boy. And that's the way that the Virtual Boy simulates fade in and fade out.
腕が疲れそう。
Unfortunately,
距離感つかめるっていう。
it
あ
also
あ
kind。of screws up some timings like coming outdoors.
です。す
I'm
ご
already
い。
very, very fortunate that such a mod exists, even if it doesn't capture everything. So, very grateful to the inventor of the virtual tap.
それもうゲームの内容が全く話にない。やばいやばいやばい。
Alright, stage 8 is kind of a boring boss. Pretty much the speed strat is
どう
also the
解
same
説しよう
as
と。
how you would probably play it casually. So
まあまあまあ。
now is a good time for
ゲームの内容はすごい。
Absolutely. $30 from Jared saying right now the world could use a lot more doctors and a lot fewer borders.
あと
To
15
the
分くらい。
runners,
あ
good
ー
luck. To the staff and volunteers, thank you. To
逆にまだ
everyone
15分。
participating and or
逆に
watching,
もう15分な
be
のかこれ。
safe and stay healthy.
てか
Now go on
27
and
分なん
amaze
だよ
me
ね。す
like
ごい
you
ね。
always do. And Thomas31 contributes $25
ほんとこれ
to
普通にうま
Doctors
く
Without
走ってる感
Borders,
じ。
saying loved the Wario Land games as a kid.
ゲーム画面で何か驚きながらみんなで雑談する時間。あんまりそこまでグリッチっていうグリッチもないんだね。すげえ奥行き。これ実機だったらすごいんだろうな、きっと。
To keep the runs and charity going, even with all the craziness going on in the world right now. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and good luck on all the runs.
すごいけど赤いよ。ね、敵がハテナマークつくの可愛いし面白いよね。本来真っ赤なんだよね。そうだよね、最初が真っ赤だったからね。さあ、鍵を入手しました。走り出します。開けました。エレベーターを登ります。
Definitely the most significant piece of randomness throughout the run. There'll be these enemies that drop watermelons.
真っ赤なマリオかな。
Sometimes they just choose
実
not
況、状況
to.
実況。
They gave me a watermelon immediately here. And the goal is to just hit the stuff in the background with the watermelon. There's these big watermelons.
おお。
If you're playing 80%, which skips all the treasures, you only need to do 2 watermelons, but
これスイカ？
in 100%, there's 4 watermelons that you need to get.
そういえば今年スイカ食ってねえな。
Double the randomness.
スイカじゃないね、それは。
Well, gotta play it a little bit safe on these spiky balls.
合ってるけど合ってないね。
And yet hit one into both those cups. Wow, okay. I got really good luck here. Wasn't expecting that. And this will give us the treasure for stage 10. Oops. Oops. Alright, that stage went about as good as one can expect. Hope for. Alright, sorry, that was stage 9. This is stage 10. If you notice in the bottom right corner, there's a countdown timer. If 20 minutes expire, then you take a death. And normally speaking, we're finishing these stages way quicker than that, so there's nothing to worry about with regards to the timer. But in this particular stage, there's an event that's triggered by the
そうだね、奏者さん
basically every
ワリオの
30
帽子かぶってる
seconds,
ね。
there will be these cuckoo clocks that open up, and one of them contains a key. So the cycle that we're trying to get is 1900, and trying to get the treasure, and also try to get back our eagle hat, all within this time frame. So there's actually cuckoo clocks that
普通に面白そう。
wait until it reads 1929 so that they don't open up. Just to be safe, I guess I am sacrificing a little bit of time, but really don't want to take damage. Because the thing about the king dragon hat is that it allows you to float back to this area over here. I take damage, and then grab the eagle hat. Alright, so now we just need to rush all the way to the room with the key, before it reaches 1900. So, because I have the eagle, it's a little bit easier because I can run instead of walk with the king dragon. So make it there with 2 seconds to spare. Now we wait here, grab the key. So it's kind of like an auto-scrollery stage. Since, there's no way that we can reach the key
改造実
in
機
this
から
category before
キャプチャーさ
1930.
れた画面を見ながらのプレ
Pretty much bounded to
イ。
that
なるほど
particular
ね。
cycle. Alright, stage 11, trickiest regular stage in the run.
ドットが綺麗ですよね。
A lot of fire pits to fall into. Oh no.
あと2つ。
All that
ほうほう
coming. It's okay. But I'm just gonna play a little bit safe. One thing about this game is that there are no checkpoints. So if you, whoops, okay. If you take a death, you actually start all the way back at the beginning. Dang. Getting destroyed here by the stage though. Okay, but luckily there's an eagle hat right here. So we can continue on with intended strats. So about recoil when you bounce off, bonk off of breakable blocks. You don't get recoil if you are in the air. So very important for that part. If you bonk sort of carelessly into the blocks, you can actually just fall straight into the fire pit. Now here's a really important room here. There are these fans that are on a cycle, and once you enter this room, the cycle starts, and it continues on throughout further rooms. So this one right here as well. So a little bit of a glitch there with the wall jump. Now allow us to quickly get to this key. Oh no. Okay, good. This room is actually way worse than it looks. Fortunately, I was in the air when all those enemies were shaking the screen. If the screen shakes and you're on the ground, you actually sort of freeze in place, which is not fun, especially if you're over a pit, about to fall into the fire. Alright, so this is the third boss, definitely the trickiest boss fight in the run, and it's called Tank and Operator. The idea
あ、
here
俺ボ
is
スなん
that,
だ。
you want to
ボスなの？
the boss from jumping across the screen. I'll explain what I mean by that. So this upcoming boss fight, you
Emi
can
助か
actually
る。
be in both the foreground and the background. And in
Emi
order
助か
to
る？
actually attack the boss, you need to be waiting on the other side, wait for it to try to
あ、
attack
中
you
ボスな
from
のね。
the other side, and then jump across and hit it. So once I do this, I knock the operator out. And then with sort of a glitchy... Whoa. I can't hit it. Getting jostled around. Okay, that was kind of what it was supposed to look like.
ああ、倒
But
した。
basically, you do sort of like a glitched charge into the tank itself, and then you sort of get stuck in place, and you can actually get multiple hits while getting stuck like that. The only way to damage the operator is to jump on it. And unfortunately, I was getting bounced around. Fortunately, it went okay. Alright, now we're coming up to the final regular stage, stage 13. And this one really heavily uses the foreground background thing, so when you're looking at it in 2D, it kind of doesn't really make much sense. So it's just really, really confusing if you can't distinguish foreground background. Alright, that treasure is easy to find. Now we're going to try to skip all these spiky balls here. This is definitely the biggest sequence break in the entire run. Normally, you essentially have to go through the level twice to pick up that key and leave at the same time. With the eagle hat, we can actually just skip all of that. These things that are shooting the spiky balls are random. A little bit of variation here. We can fit in a couple more donations here.
You got it. We have a $10 donation from Safer saying Wario and Waluigi are the best characters in the Mario universe. Who would have thought? We will see a Virtual Boy Wario speedrun. Good luck, Swordsman Kirby, and stay healthy, you all.
Alright, I should have all the treasures now. Let's see. Yes, all of them. One final mini boss here. This one's kind of annoying, so I'm going to try to cheese it a little bit by hitting these rockets far away. Definitely not the optimal thing to do, but better than taking stray damage from one of these rockets. So finally, we're at the final boss. This is Demon Head. Casually, I would say that this fight is really difficult. I spent a long time on it, but like for the Dinosaur Fish, like the very first boss that we did, there's going to be a quick kill associated with it.
あ、ラストなんだ。なるほど。確かにラスボスっぽいね。
The game, okay, so Demon Head takes 5 hits. The first hit is completely just given to you, so you just jump and then run into it. And then with this particular positioning and movement, we can actually hit it as it's falling down. Ooh, that was almost too early.
うまい。うまいな。
Alright, time's coming up soon. And time.
タイム。終わりましたね。終わりましたね。グッドゲームです。
That was Virtual Boy Wario Land 100%. Basically, the whole point of these treasures is that you unlock the best ending of the game. And depending on how much money you get or how many treasures you get a different ending. And it determines what vehicle you fly away in. In this case, since I got all the treasures, this vehicle is going to be a magic carpet, and I'm also going to be, Wario is also going to be joined by a girl, since we finished under 2 hours. So hopefully I finished under 2 hours. And this is sort of the best ending that you can get for normal.
面白そうな作
Once you
品
beat this game 100%,
てか絶対面
there's
白
also
いじゃん
a
これ。
mode which is just like, in my opinion, not fun. Just spikes everywhere. Not really an enjoyable experience. Do we have a final time for that?
スイカとツボのゲームだ。ツボ。
Yes,
ツボ
23.29.
Okay, I'll gladly take that.
そうですね。奥行き感め
Yeah,
っ
just
ちゃ
want to give a quick shout out
楽
to
しい。
the Wario Land community, and especially Black, who ran this game a couple years ago, but pretty much made real time
ああ、大量の
Virtual Boy Wario
コイ
Land
ンを
speedrunning thing, especially
お持ち帰りですね。
with any percent, 100%. Yeah, that's gonna be all for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you GDQ for accepting this run.
はい。バーチャルボーイワリオランドアワゾンの秘宝でした。
We have a lot of love coming in
まあ
via the donations.
何が何だかよく分かってませんでしたが、でも面白い作品でしたね。はい。ではお疲れ様でした。では一旦次のゲームの準備の方ございますので、一旦失礼させていただきます。 失礼いたしま
Also,
す。
a $50 donation from Captain Kvackers is saying, loves seeing a Virtual Boy game being played at Brian82 donates $150 and says, keep up the great work, everyone. Great show and a great cause. Thank you very much, Brian82. And with that, we are going to go to an ad from our sponsor really quick. We'll be back in just a moment.
はい、すいません。お待たせいたしました。司会進行引き続き私メリでございます。よろしくお願いいたします。
2020 Online. I'm Yo BGS.